Absolutely everyone wants strong faith, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. Misinformation that, quite frankly, is distancing you away from God. So that's why in this video I'm going to break down 3 things that, though they are normalized, you need to cut them out if you want to max out your relationship with God. Make sure you stick around to the end, because out of these 3, the third one is the most powerful. So the first thing I want to talk about is devil music. Any music that has any negative affirmations that push you away from God. That may not seem super bad, like, oh yeah, I only listen to the beat, I don't listen to the words. Well, even if you are just listening to the words passively and the beat actively, those words in the background will still be affirming these things in your mind, and slowly but surely you'll start to think that these things that they're talking about are okay to do and are okay to say. So some things you want to look out for in your music are, first off, cussing. If you see any E symbols on any of your songs, or if you hear any cussing or any foul language in your music, take it off your playlist and don't listen to it. Also, if it starts promoting sinful behavior in a positive light, that's also negative. Like, I just cheated on my girlfriend, I just Don't listen to any of that, because, of course, like I said, it's promoting that behavior, and slowly but surely you'll start to think that that sinful behavior is okay. I know there are some Christian rappers that I like to listen to that paint these sinful habits in a negative light, and that's totally okay. If they're saying doing these things are bad, that's an affirmation that's good for you because it's telling you those things are bad. But if it's actively promoting sinful behavior, you don't want to listen to it. Take it off your playlist. And finally, if it makes you anxious or brings you down in any sort of way, take that off of your playlist as well. And the fruit of the Spirit, it includes love, joy, peace, and it also includes goodness. Only listen to music that brings you up, not anything that pushes you down. Overall, just ask yourself, would God want me to listen to it? And if the answer is no, don't listen to it. No excuses. Next, I want to discuss the elephant in the room, cussing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Cussing is not acceptable. The Bible actively talks against foul language. First off, we have here in Colossians 3:8, but now you must put them all away. Anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth. Also, in Colossians 4:6, it says, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. From those 2 verses alone, you can kind of get the point. Saying any sort of foul language, letting any sort of foul language come out of your mouth is not acceptable. Also, I want to talk about the Lord's name in vain. Saying the Lord's name in vain is not acceptable either. It's literally one of the 10 commandments. No matter what excuse you want to make, saying the Lord's name in vain, cussing, or letting any other foul language come out of your mouth is not acceptable. So cut it out. And the final 2 things are things that, honestly, no one seems like they want to ever talk about. But it's legalism and licentiousness. I've already made a whole video about this that I'll link at the top link of the description. But overall, legalism is just following God's instructions to check a box for the sake of getting it done, not focusing on why you're doing it. And licentiousness is using God's grace as an excuse for sin. These can be on varying extremes. It doesn't have to be and crack every single second of the day, but it can just be, I'm a Christian and I cuss a little. And legalism can just be as simple as going to church to check the box instead of actually listening to what the pastor has to say, actually worshiping. Faith shouldn't be just checking the boxes of prayer, checking the boxes of church, checking the box of quiet time, but you should actually be focusing on why you're doing these things, which is to honor God, honor His instructions, and grow a relationship with Him. It also just shouldn't be, I'll do this thing once and it'll be fine, because we all know it isn't just once. And we also know that sin, no matter what, is never acceptable. It also shouldn't be sin and repent later. You should be so motivated by the grace that God has given you. He has the right to punish you, but He doesn't. And you should be so appreciative of that that you have a true desire to push yourself away from sin. These two polar opposite lifestyles of legalism and licentiousness should both be cut out. To sum it all up, compare your actions against God's instructions. Do you actually know that what you're doing is right? Or are you just believing in normalization? Do you feel like it's right, or do you know it's right? Have you actually looked in the Bible, or are you just assuming? And with that, peace out and God bless.